Well, as I mentioned, dozens and dozens of victims of yesterday's bombings are still being treated for their critical injuries. And the hospital community in Boston admitted that it just was almost to overflowing, that it really was pushed to the max. And it got me to wondering what would happen here in Albany if we were faced with some kind of chaotic situation, some crisis, and whether the hospitals are prepared to handle it. And I went to Albany Med today to find out.
We had 3 of the most critically ill patients come in about the first 15 minutes. That's when it became clear to us that it was going to be a busy day.
They expected dehydration and exhaustion and maybe a few sprains from the Boston Marathon. Instead, 7 Boston emergency departments found themselves dealing with the kinds of injuries you would see in a war zone. And whether you're at Mass General or Albany Med, the goal is the same.
Our number one objective in these situations is to take care of as many people as we can in such a short amount of time.
In this post-9/11 world, anticipation and preparation are key. And at Albany Med, that means practice, practice, practice.
Probably 10 or more drills a year just here at Albany Med, and then again working with our other partners in the community, working with them on their drills and training. So we do a lot. We have to practice.
Albany Med's ED has 31 attending physicians, 35 residents, and 12 PAs. In a crisis, they would be augmented by hundreds more surgeons and specialists.
Patients are still coming in with heart attacks and having babies and car accidents, so it is a balancing act.
I asked Scott Heller how many patients Albany Med's emergency department could handle. He points out this is the busiest trauma center in New York State, including New York City, so there's no limit. They have to take every patient who comes in.
We have plans in place to be able to set up other areas of the hospital as what we call alternate care sites.
What's made the Boston situation so challenging is the nature of the injuries, more reminiscent of a battlefield than a finish line. Dr. Dan Bonville was a trauma surgeon in Iraq and says some of the victims may profit from what was learned since 9/11.
There's been a lot of advances in medicine and trauma care in particular. And so there have been several advances in resuscitation of severely injured casualties because of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Liz Bishop, CBS 6 News. And I'm told that on a typical day, about 200 patients might be seen in the Albany Med Emergency Department. Albany Med earned the distinction of being the busiest trauma center in New York by having the most admissions per year.